Transmission lines, distortionless line, series on transmission line theory, lecture number 1.60. Signal is a unique combination of different components, each component having its own frequency and amplitude. In a signal, all its components are connected in a unique or specific manner. When it is traveling over a line, it is found the signal waveform undergoing some change, some deviation from its original form. This deviation is called distortion. Distortion is harmful because it spoils the information content of the signal. Hence, it is to be avoided, eliminated. It is found by enforcing certain condition on the primary constants of the line, the distortion can be eliminated. This condition is called Heaviside condition. Heaviside condition is enforced and the distortion is eliminated by implementing a technique called loading. Loading technique, loading method basically involves increasing primary constant, primary parameter of the line L by adding inductance. In the present session, our focus is on definition of distortion, components of the distortion, root causes of the distortion, Heaviside condition, and also loading technique. The deviation of signal waveform from its original as it travels over a transmission line is called line distortion. Deviation is distortion. It is caused by line. That's why it is line distortion. The line distortion is said to be due to dependence of attenuation and or velocity on frequency. It results in different signal components undergoing different amounts of attenuation and or delay in reaching the destination. Here notice the root causes of distortion are mentioned. What are they? Dependence of attenuation, dependence of velocity on frequency. The total distortion can be considered as sum of two components. One is called amplitude distortion, another one is called delay distortion. Amplitude distortion is also known as frequency distortion. This is due to various frequency components of the signal undergoing different amounts of attenuation. It happens when attenuation constant alpha is function of frequency. To eliminate this distortion, therefore, common sense says what we have to do. The constant alpha must be made independent of frequency. Another component of distortion is phase distortion, also called delay distortion. This is due to different frequency components of the signal traveling over the line with different velocities. So they take different amounts of time to reach the destination with different amounts of delays. This causes signal dispersion, spoiling the original phase relation among its components. Once phase relation is lost, information content of the signal is lost. To eliminate this component, velocity should be made constant for all components of the signal. When phase shift constant beta is made proportional to angular frequency omega, velocity becomes constant. Reason is velocity is equal to omega by beta. When beta is made proportional to angular frequency, let us say beta is proportional to frequency, some constant times omega. Then omega gets cancelled. B is simply a constant 1 by k. Distortionless line. By definition, distortionless line is one which transmits signal without causing any disruption, any deviation in its waveform. Note, the information content in the signal is in its waveform. Waveform has to be preserved. Then only information content is in safety. Deviation, distortion, disruption in the waveform of the signal means information is lost forever. It can happen, distortionless transmission can happen only when the primary constants of the line are related by the relation given here, R by L equal to G by C. These are primary constants of the line, or CR equal to LG. This relation is called Heaviside condition. It was first derived by Oliver Heaviside in 18 1987. How this condition has come into being? We have seen, it is already mentioned earlier, the root causes of distortion, line distortion are two. One is alpha being a function of frequency, and second one is velocity being function of frequency. So somehow if we make alpha independent of frequency and velocity independent of frequency, then distortion components, both the components are eliminated, leading to distortionless condition, distortionless line, distortionless transmission. Now consider general expression of alpha, attenuation constant, in terms of primary constants of the line. This is general expression. When the condition, distortionless condition, the Heaviside condition is implemented, that is R by L equal to G by C. When that condition is implemented, we can notice alpha becoming root RG. Now it is independent of frequency. When the same condition, Heaviside condition, is implemented, we can notice beta equal to omega root LC. This is general expression connecting primary constants with beta. So now with that condition, Heaviside condition, beta is omega root LC and V velocity becomes omega by beta by definition. With beta equal to omega root LC, now it is velocity is 1 by root LC. Alpha has become independent of frequency. Velocity also has become independent of frequency. Naturally, both the sources of distortion, they are eliminated when distortionless condition, that is R by L equal to G by C, is implemented. Now we have distortionless transmission over the line for the signal. Now let us also consider what is Z0 for a distortionless line. By definition, Z0 characteristic impedance is square root of R plus J omega by G plus J omega C. When we implement R by L equal to G by C, it becomes root L by C. So Ci of a distortionless is pure real. Now, how Heaviside condition has come into being, or how Heaviside condition can be derived from the general expressions of alpha and beta is considered. When the second radical of alpha and beta is set equal to Rg plus omega square Lc, it can be noticed alpha becomes independent of frequency and beta becomes directly proportional to frequency, thereby eliminating distortion. Second radical of alpha or beta equal to Rg plus omega square Lc implies. It implies Rg plus omega square Lc whole square equal to R square plus omega square L square G square plus omega square C square. Further reduction manipulation leads to CR equal to LG, R by L equal to G by C. This is the way distortionless condition is derived. Heaviside condition is derived. It is also possible to find primary constants of a distortionless line from Z0, characteristic impedance of the line, wave velocity, and also attenuation constant. How? Multiply V with characteristic impedance, velocity, characteristic impedance. It gives 1 by C. V is known, Z0 is known, just multiply, it is 1 by C. So now C is known. Divide Z0 by V, it becomes L. So L is known. Multiply attenuation constant with Z0, it is R. Now R is known. Divide alpha by Z0, it is G. G is known. So once characteristic impedance, velocity, attenuation constant, these are available. Using the relation that are shown in the present slide, one can find out primary constant R, L, G, C. Now loading. What is loading? Distortionless condition or Heaviside condition is R by L equal to G by C. But in real line, actual line, this condition is not satisfied. So how to make this condition satisfied in a practical line, in a real line? Certain techniques are developed. These techniques are called loading techniques. Their purpose is to make the distortionless condition satisfied by the line, thereby eliminating or avoiding or reducing the distortion. So loading refers to certain techniques adopted to establish distortionless condition over the line. In real lines, the primary constants are such that R by L is very, very large when compared to G by C, mainly because of lower values of G. To enforce Heaviside condition, the usual practice is to decrease R by L instead of going for the increase of G by C, as the increase in G leads to increase in losses and inefficient operation. The decrease in R by L ratio is usually achieved by increasing the inductance L instead of going for a decrease in R, which requires large conductors, large copper, and hence reduction in R is costly. So increasing G means inefficient operation. Decreasing R means costly. So what they do is they go for increase in L, that is loading. Increase in L is affected either by changing the line configuration or by connecting highly inductive coils to the line. The method of increasing series inductance of the line using inductive coils is called loading. Changing the configuration line, that is once the line is established, once it is there in place, changing configuration is a quite difficult task. What we do is we go for loading. Inductance coils are used for loading. They are traditionally known as Pupin coils, and the process of inserting them is called Pupinization. After Mihajlo Idvorsky Pupin, a Serbian-American physicist, the concept of coil loading was a discovery of Oliver Heaviside. He found that added inductance was essential to avoid attenuation and time delayed distortion. Attenuation, distortion, delayed distortion, these two are two components of the distortion the signal undergo while traveling over the line. So by adding inductance, both these components can be eliminated or reduced. Alloys, namely permalloy, mu metal, these are two alloys widely used in the design of loading coils. The first one is nickel iron annealed magnetic alloy with a higher magnetic permeability mu, and the second one has a magnetic property similar to permalloy, but it has increased ductility. It can bend easily and all. Compared to permalloy, mu metal cable is easier to construct and lends itself to a variable loading profile. This is something to be pondered over. A variable loading profile. Loading is of three types: lumped loading, continuous loading, patch loading. These three types are introduced right now. In lumped loading, relatively high inductance coils are introduced at definite intervals, uniform intervals along the length of the line. Here is a line. The coils are introduced at uniform intervals. Now, after introduction, L of the line goes up. In earlier days, coils used to be of two windings on an iron dust or a permalloy dust cores. Presently, however, molybdenum permalloy dust cores are being used as they give high inductance with rather a small coil. It was Heaviside who first made the proposal in 1993 of using discrete inductors at intervals along the line. So, lumped loading is an idea that is originated, that is given by Oliver Heaviside. Heaviside is a great scientist. His contribution in electromagnetic field theory and also in transmission line theory, it is tremendous. In fact, in converting large number of equations that are describing electromagnetic phenomena into four known as Maxwell's equations, the effort of Heaviside is memorable, unforgettable. Here is shown discrete loading. This is sending end. Here is a line. This is also line. This is also line. The line is interspersed with coils, with inductance coils called loading coils. Continuous loading. In continuous loading, a tape of steel or some other magnetic materials such as permalloy or mu metal is wrapped around the conductor to be loaded. Introduction of heavy loading coils cause undue strain at the insertion points in case of submarine telephone and telegraph cables. To avoid this issue, instead of lumped loading, continuous loading is used. Continuous loading has come into being to overcome the shortcomings that are associated with discrete loading technique. Introduction of loading coils. They cause strain at the insertion points, particularly in submarine telephone and telegraph cables. This issue is serious in certain cases, so therefore it is to be avoided and it is eliminated by going for continuous loading. Continuous loading distributes the inductance continuously along the line, causing it to behave like the one with a distributed constant. It increases the permeability of the surrounding medium, thereby increasing the inductance. However, it is costly and hence used only when discrete loading is not feasible, like in submarine cables. Here is shown how continuous loading is affected or implemented. A tape, permalloy loading tape, is wound around the conductor, thereby increasing mu. Increase in mu means L goes up. Lumped loading is cheaper, but it suffers with a serious drawback of definite cutoff frequency. In addition, there is also difficulty with the seals. Continuous loading, on the other hand, is expensive and hence can be done only when it is absolutely necessary. A compromise method is patch loading, where cable is continuously loaded in repeated sections, leaving the intervening sections unloaded. Loading coils are highly useful to boost analog voice frequencies and are usually placed in local loops longer than 5.5 kilometers. In the current era, however, coils are hardly used as they are superseded by higher technologies. Their negative side is causing distortion to high frequencies. Hence, presence of coils in the line is not conducive for high data transmission. What he is trying to tell is, if you place loading coils over the line becomes like a filter, low pass filter with certain cutoff frequency. Higher frequencies are eliminated or distorted or attenuated. So this cutoff frequency is a source of irritation in the functioning of the line in transferring high frequency signals from one end to other end. Particularly high speed data transmission, it is very difficult with over a line with loading coils. Equalizers. What are equalizers? Frequency distortion can be reduced by cascading lines with networks known as equalizers. So loading is one technique. Equalizers, loading with coils, is one technique. Another technique is equalizers, placing equalizers. Equalizers are passive networks whose attenuation versus frequency characteristic is just inverse to that of the line. Delay distortion can also be suppressed with equalizers, provided it is designed in such a way that beta per total circuit is proportional to omega. In practice, for audio transmission, audio means up to 4 kilohertz. 0 to 4 kilohertz, or if music is also included, then maybe it is 10 kilohertz, up to 10 kilohertz. For audio transmission, only frequency distortion is a serious problem, whereas for video transmission, both the distortions cause a severe trouble. So this is something which I want to share with you in the present session. Enough for now.